There's been a lot of talk about X-Men 97, a show that next week will be wrapping up for its season finale. Perhaps its series finale, because we're not quite sure. The creator was canned. Disney now without a man to lead the way. No showrunner in place for another season. But Disney might not have the incentive to go for another season. Shockingly, surprisingly, X-Men 97, folks, has never charted on Nielsen, not one time. We'll tell you why that might mean time is running out for X-Men 97. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, the place where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, and put Hollywood through that series of logic that they do not care for, not one bit. No, we bring them to the mainstream, middle, the sensible center, the folks out there who say, just give me good solid content, please. Folks, we are going to talk about X-Men 97, a show that has its controversy, it has its fans. But one thing it doesn't have, it does not have an audience. Not big enough to even track on Nielsen. But there's something bigger to be said about this because it has much greater implications for Disney+. Strap in, folks, because we're going to share with you the secret sauce that has all the bosses at the C-suite of Disney deeply, deeply worried. X-Men 97 may set up a war with the Avengers. This is by Justin Carter. It says, what does an adaptation of Avengers versus X-Men look like in the 90s, and chiefly through the lens of mutants' righteous anger? So we've talked about some of the problematic issues of X-Men 97 before. One of the things that we have not talked about is, I am sparingly interested in this series, and we seldomly do videos on it, and there's a reason for that. It's because despite some of the positive reviews out there by some, and there are people who really enjoy this, this doesn't have big viewership. And there's a reason that we know that. It's because despite Disney telling us that it's the highest, most viewed animated thing made by Disney, i.e. Bluey's not made by Disney, right? It's never charted on Nielsen a single time. So if this truly is the biggest animated show made by Disney on Disney+, again, so that they can not talk about Bluey, then what does that say about all of those other animated shows? Because this has yet to track anywhere on Nielsen ever, period. But anyway, the article says, like the original series.
Because South Park Across the Pandaverse never landed on Nielsen. That wasn't weird at all.
And we still don't understand that. We still don't understand it because we knew the numbers meant that it should have been like third place on Nielsen. Boy, talk about bringing up a topic that needs more coverage. Says, like the original series, X-Men 97 has been adapting a variety of comic book storylines from the 90s. Thus far, the likes of Inferno, The Trial of Magneto, and Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's new X-Men run have been brought to life with varying levels of time and success. The show has a lot of stories it can tell, and one of them may bring the team in conflict with Earth's mightiest heroes. Speaking to Comic Book, Ross Marquand, who voices Professor X, indicated there was a real chance the show gets to adapt Avengers versus X-Men. Speaking to Captain America's appearance in the 7th episode, Bright Eyes, Marquand noted how it could be the first step toward adapting the storyline. Rogue threw his shield in the side of a snowy mountain, he said. He ain't going to find that shield. It's not like Mjolnir, where you can just pull it back. It's stuck in that thing. He's going to be pissed at Rogue for a while. And this is what I actually believe. One, I think that, and by the way, an episode is coming out tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. The second part of a trilogy of a finale. There's a real danger that this gets into super woke stuff in these last three. But I think that per the norm for Kevin Feige as of late, I bet the pitch that got him to say yes to this with Bo DeMaio was, we can put X-Men versus Avengers, and then that'll sell toys. But the problem here is that you needed to successfully sell the X-Men before you ever got into this. And using the X-Men as a ploy to sell toys, I think, is not setting the groundwork in the best of ways possible. Jonas, we were rough with you, we were mean with you earlier. I promise I won't interrupt you. I'd like to give you the first word on this particular topic. Go ahead, Jonas.
Butts.
We're not going to butts. Okay. Yeah, Rogue's butt. I get it. Haha. Come on, Jonas. What do you got?
this has been kind of a disaster. I have not finished X-Men 97. I haven't had time to keep up with it. The quality of the show itself has been good from a writing standpoint. Obviously, they've taken something that was for kids and made it into something that is for adults, probably because they're assuming they need the audience ages up here. They fire Bo DeMaio for things that I think they would praise in other creators there at the company. The whole thing is suspicious to me. The whole thing is strange. I think that this is one of the few successes of Marvel recently, probably because it plays on the nostalgia of something that was previously there. I don't like the idea of Rogue being the enemy of Captain America. If they had made it Captain Marvel, we'd have something to talk about here. I don't know. I've not finished this series, so I don't want to comment too harshly here. But they've taken.
Okay. Take it from this angle, Jonas. Take it from this angle. It's never charted on Nielsen. What does that say about Disney animation at large?
It says that they can't get any traction with the thing that they are known for. Animation is supposed to be the thing that the Walt Disney Company is known for, and they just can't seem to give this stuff away.
Nolan, I think you've got some thoughts. Share them with us, please.
Yeah. So, okay. I will say about this is I think if you look at the history of success here, now there are some questionable ones, like Captain Marvel and stuff, because that one was kind of like bait and switch, in between Avengers and stuff. But if you go back in the tried and true successes that Marvel has had over the years, Captain America Civil War, that film was a phenomenon when that film came out. Putting the X-Men against the Avengers is a fantastic idea. And honestly, I can't really fault the show on this because a lot of the things that kind of downplay those kind of draws are mistakes made outside of them, like the state of the MCU, Disney's decisions, all that. Now, I do think there's a lot of appeal with X-Men 97 to really get somewhere to keep X-Men in the zeitgeist. You, of course, have Deadpool and Wolverine coming out later this year. X-Men 97 is very different compared to a lot of things we have been having. You have the main characters, whether you agree with some of the decisions of them or not. The main characters are there. It's not the mantle strategy. You have the bright colors, very reminiscent of the 90s. And even though there's been a lot of missteps, there's a lot to... Because one thing X-Men 97 is doing pretty well, honestly, it is staying in the conversation pieces. I've been seeing a lot of things outside of here about it. And I'm kind of surprised that the viewership on it has been a bit low. That has me rather curious. But I do think there's a lot of possibility here. But I do think one thing I really want to say here that I think could be harming it is, we were talking about pushing toys. I don't remember if it was the writer's strike or whatever that really pushed this series back. I remember these toys were hitting the store shelves like pretty early. I think there were X-Men 97 toys around the holiday season.
Yes.
I remember the Wolverine claws. I've already started seeing those on clearance, like with the Mario movie stuff at this point, because we're kind of getting into like the sequel territory time. And for X-Men 97 to not even be finished running yet, to already see stuff on clearance, it kind of shows that they brought a show back from, at this point, what year did X-Men, the show debut? Was it like 95 or something? So we have like
97.
Thank you. So,
Just
okay,
so
20
from the title.
So 94, 95, 96 were the 3 seasons. Then 97 is supposed to be the continuation.
The show is older than me, and we're trying to have 5-year-olds get into this. And you have to do some work because this is drastically different from all the Fox X-Men movies. I do think that kids are competent enough in this day and age, especially with streaming and stuff, to be able to see those original movies. And this show looks completely different. And I think it's actually a way more appealing, possibly, to them. But I do think this is a great move to try to, expand the universe, because it's already been solidified that Spider-Man and such are in this universe, and it's easier for people to see it on Disney Plus. But I do think that some of the decisions outside of them could really be impacting them, whether it be the strikes, the MCU at large, or, I don't know, Wolverine and Deadpool. We'll see how a rated R movie can do with the kids, but that's all I got to say.
And my thought on this is that I don't have a problem with the X-Men fighting the Avengers, but if you're Marvel, if you're the MCU, if you're Kevin Feige, you need to introduce the X-Men and get them successful under your Disney brand before you take them on against the Avengers, in my opinion. They've got to be able to breathe and stand on their own. You can't just throw them in as, hey, let's get the toys going again. Everybody wants Iron Man toys. Hasbro's dying. We got to rescue them. How are we gonna do it? Oh, X-Men. Let's do that. So that's my position on that.
Guys, I appreciate that it is the nature of our channel and of our business here to do reviews and talk about whether something's good, bad, or indifferent, and compare it to the past and all the other artistic discussions. But the only thing that truly at core matters about this series is, will it sell Disney Plus memberships and will it retain them?
Yes.
And so
the answer is no.
And the answer is no. End of story. Next.
And folks, we have come to the end, but it is not the end of the content that is coming your way. Remember, thatparkplace.com, our sister channel, continues to produce 2 videos a day. The Pro Channel right here, 3 videos a day. And don't forget about T3PO. It's That Park Place Podcasts, or if you're looking it up on YouTube, at That Pod Place. Go check that channel out. Go give Vash all the love and support that he deserves. Folks, right here, we could use your support. Like, share, subscribe. Click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.